I'm Robert Bell, and we're here at the 2013 NAB show talking with thought leaders in media contribution and distribution about some of the most important trends shaping the industry, from technology shifts to changing viewer expectations. And here's what one of them had to say about the most important changes taking place today.
So our biggest trend that we see is the continuing expansion around the world of Ka-band satellite networks, primarily for distribution of broadband content, including a lot of the media that we see, the traditional television types of broadcasts, plus expansion of a lot more of the private type networks that are being distributed via the internet or via broadband networks. So in our case, we see a lot of the broadcasters around the world, networks around the world that would show up at a show like this, who are looking to expand and grow their Ka-band capabilities. So we design and manufacture fairly large aperture satellite antennas, among some other products that are not specific to the broadcasting area. The way that these work with our technologies, obviously, is that we provide that crucial ground infrastructure to talk to the new satellites that are being launched, to allow for then the connectivity as a POP or as a hub for media content and the throughput to those satellites. The top priorities that we're seeing right now, and the ones that we're trying to head off as best we can, as quickly as we can, we are seeing a lot more customers who are looking for faster deliveries, first off. So delays with the economy, holding up contracts, things like that are causing customers to come to us and say, I need something traditionally that I would have spec'd a long time in advance, I need it now. So that helps us on our short-term revenues. It puts pressure on our manufacturing, but we feel that we're able to compete and to be able to service those customers. From the products themselves, the throughput that the customers want to see, especially when we look at Ka-band, the throughput of the satellite networks that enable them to maximize their revenue flows from those networks, that's critical. And for us, the way that we maximize throughput for our customers, the ASC signal antenna products include antenna controllers and some specialized antenna subreflector systems that we have that allow for very, very tight tracking of the satellites, enable much stronger and more solid link to those satellites, and therefore enable a much higher throughput on a link. So since sort of the beginning of time, if you will, going back 15 years ago when we started to see video on fiber, and I say that jokingly, but you know, fiber and fiber networks or terrestrial cable networks competing with satellite has been talked about forever. There is a very, very good argument for using a terrestrial cable-based network for certain applications. There is a much stronger argument for when you use satellite, when you need reliability, when you need throughput, when you need point to multipoint, all of those things that satellite does well. So while there's competition, I think that the people that view cable as a competitor to satellite, or WiMAX as a competitor to satellite, or any of the other technologies as a competitor to satellite, really aren't looking closely at the application. There's an application for each of those. Each of those technologies excels, and we've seen time and time again that the most high reliability types of distribution systems, broadcasters in Europe, broadcasters in the US, broadcasters in South America, on and on and on, keep going, continue to use satellite as the technology when they want to reach with a high quality of service, high throughput to a wide variety of consumers. I pray it's not sequestration, so let's start with that one. Maybe we'll actually have spent that 85% that we have to spend instead of worrying about the 15% we don't. But now, separate from that, the stuff that we'll be talking about, I think, is going to be the continued expansion of content distribution via various technologies that we have today and how we can continue to maximize that. We've seen companies, great companies in the satellite industry with that advanced coding techniques that are allowing higher and higher throughput on the satellites. We've seen companies like ASC who are coming up with great technologies for tracking and those sorts of things. I think we're just going to continue to see more and more of the same, of the expansion of those types of throughput, the expansion of the types of services that can be delivered, and more networks, more content means more places and more channels that need to be distributed.